Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, April 15th, 2023. I'm Matt, and today I wanted to talk about an article in the Politico. I don't know if you saw this or not, but the Fed economists project recession in 2023. So they're basically admitting that their policies of raising rates over the past year or so has caused the banking crisis, which is going to cause a recession. They're calling it a mild recession, but I don't believe that it's going to be mild. I think it's going to be pretty severe. And, they're basically admitting recession is coming. They're projecting it. So I think you need to be prepared for it. I made a video about being prepared for the upcoming recession a little while ago. You can look up that video and see what I said to do to get prepared, or what I'm doing to get prepared. Basically, you want to be buying gold, silver, have cash around, have spare food. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs, so you want to have a stash of cash for at least a few months so that you can weather the storm and find another job, which is going to be tough if everybody's laying people off and you get laid off. So you need to have some food, you need to have some money, you need to be ready to weather the upcoming storm. It's coming. It's just a matter of when, not if. So another thing was Bitcoin. Bitcoin really took off after the financial crisis that happened at the banks after Silicon Valley Bank went belly up. And Bitcoin really took off. It went from around 17,000 up to around 31,000. It has pulled back some to around 30,000. A lot of people think this is a new bull market. It could be. It is possible. It did break out on the charts. So maybe we are in for another Bitcoin bull market here. I have been waiting for the bull market to start around the end of this year, beginning of next year. 2024 is the halving. That's typically when Bitcoin does take off, is the halving year. And it usually hits a peak in December of the halving year. So I have been waiting for Bitcoin to hit bottom in maybe like August, September, October, somewhere around there of this year, and come up in 2024. That'll be the Bitcoin halving year. I think that will be the year that Bitcoin really takes off. Maybe it does now. I'm just not so sure. If we do head into this upcoming recession here, which I believe is coming, Bitcoin may test its lows, hit 16,000 or below. Bitcoin really hasn't been tested through a recession. The only time it was really tested in a recessionary environment was during 2020, when we had that whole pandemic. And most of that was man-made. Everybody, the governments made everybody stop working and made everybody stay home. So we had a recession, went down and bounced right back. But Bitcoin did go down pretty severely during that time. So if we do have another recession here coming up this year, I do believe Bitcoin will substantially pull back, and you will have a better chance to buy Bitcoin cheaper. That's just what I think. So I did sell some of my Bitcoin. I sold about a third of my Bitcoin, around 30,000, after we had this big run up to add to my cash position, so that I have plenty of cash, that when Bitcoin and cryptos do go down and are really good buys, then I can buy some. The same thing with any investment. If the prices start to go way down, maybe I want to buy a piece of land, maybe I want to buy stocks or bonds or something yielding a high return. If you found a stock that was pretty safe and it was yielding 7, 8, 9%, Maybe you want to buy up a bunch of that stock when it's cheap. So, I want to keep my options open, and that's why I want to have plenty of cash. I want to have gold. I want to have some silver, so that if commodities go way up and the dollar comes way down and pushes commodities way up, then my gold and silver could be worth a lot, and maybe I could sell some of it and I could buy another investment. So you want to be thinking about these things before the recession, so when we do hit that recession and prices take a tumble, then you're ready to pounce. So that's what I did there. That's the reasoning, my thinking, why I wanted to sell a little bit of Bitcoin and add a little more cash. Another thing that's been in the news is this whole de-dollarization. Let me say that again. The whole de-dollarization, that's what it is. Where basically other countries are trying to get away from the dollar and trying to trade in other currencies, like their own currencies. We saw a big deal with China and Saudi Arabia, where Saudi Arabia agreed with China to sell oil to China in Chinese yuan. This is the first time this has ever happened. Oil has always, since 1974, been sold in dollars. The Saudis made a deal with the United States, in 1973 or 74 to sell oil only in dollars. And that allowed us to stay the world reserve currency, and they called it the petrodollar after we were off the gold standard. So that petrodollar is starting to crack. It's starting to come under pressure. Saudi Arabia is starting to take other currencies other than the dollar. This is bad news for the United States. This is bad news for our economy, and it's bad news for future inflation. Because if this trend accelerates and other countries don't need to hold a lot of dollars to buy oil and other commodities, then they're going to sell those dollars, and maybe they'll switch to other currencies and not have nearly as much dollars. If that happens, they'd have to sell those dollars to buy other currencies or buy gold or buy silver. So if they get rid of a lot of these dollars are going to come flooding back to the United States. That's going to create massive inflation here in the U.S. This is a trend that isn't good for us. It's going to drop our standard of living if it happens, if it accelerates. And that's another thing you want to be prepared for. Another news video thing was the Kenyan president basically said that Kenyans needed to sell their dollars before basically they had big losses. So this is a video going around on the internet, and it doesn't bode well for the dollar and for the United States, especially our economy and especially for inflation. So I just want everybody to be aware of it. I want you to be prepared, be ready. Make sure you have plenty of alternative things like gold, silver, food, maybe some alternate investments in other foreign countries, maybe some European stocks, maybe, some stocks outside of the U.S. that will benefit if the dollar does go down substantially. So that's about it for today, and I hope you're having a good weekend, and have a good day, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.